All right, everyone. So this is the new TSP website. Once you log in, you'll see that the top bar here, if you highlight over it, you can go into details of what you want to do. You can also look at this summary tab. You can pin it to your summary tab. And this down here is your account overview, how much your rate of return is, and your account balance. So what you want to do first is highlight over this part and take a look at your investments. This will break it down to see what you have current to date and what your money is going into. So let's say you do 15% of your pay on my pay and put into TSP. Of that 15%, 78% of mine is in C funds, 22% is in S funds. And then for contribution allocation, so again, if I did 15% of my paycheck on a monthly basis, what I'm doing is I'm buying 10% C and then 90% S. The reason why I'm doing that is because S is way underperforming the C funds. So you want to buy S funds when it's low. But you also want to keep most of your money in C funds because it's right, it's performing above the S funds. And you want to do that because if you look at the share prices, so if you do a tsp.gov fund performance, or if you just Google TSP share price history, you come here and select whatever you want. Most of us will retire by 2050. So start drawing your TSP at 60, right? Or 59.5. It'll be life cycles 2050. If you're much older, again, just do a age calculator of 60 minus how old you are, plus that by the current year, and it'll get you your year group. You can also do the G funds, F, CSI, and change the dates around. As of now, the G funds, because the market's crashing, is overperforming everything else, right? But it's only by a couple of dollars. It wouldn't make sense to actually buy into G funds right now because you'll be locking onto the prices. So you'll be losing money because you're swapping over to G funds. It's much better to stay where you're at, buying CNS while it's low. So if you take the current day price and subtract it by the first of the year price, you'll get how much they're performing. And again, S funds is underperforming, and that's a good thing. We want to buy the S funds. So if I want to change my investments, right? Let's say you have 80% in G funds or 100 or whatever it is, and you want to match mine, you hit change investments, and it'll take you to this screen. You can also go to the home screen, change investments, or highlight over the savings retirement and change investments. So if you are or aren't aware, the two biggest terms you need to know is contribution allocation and interfunds transfer. The first thing we want to do is click this left button. All right, money that's already in your plan. That's the old term. That's a new term of interfunds transfer. Only money that will be contributed is the new term for contribution allocation. And what that means is you want to redistribute your funds, or you want to change how much you buy into. So first thing we're going to do is money that's already in your plan, hit continue. Right. So again, mine is a 80C and 20S, but yours might be different. Yours might say, 40% in 2050, 20% in G, 10% F, whatever it may be. Right. What I personally do, based off of what a lot of other people do, is 80% C, 20S, or if you want to do the 50-50 split, it's really up to you. So let's do 80 here in C funds and 20 here. Again, the reason about this is that S is underperforming, so you don't want more money of your current money in the pot. you want it in the C funds. We'll hit continue. Current balance only is what we want to do. If you want to stay 80-20, so like if you want to buy into it next month, the same price, 80% in C and 20% S, you can do current and future. But since mine is different, I'm going to do current balance only. Continue. And you'll see that your existing mix will change into a new one. So again, mine was at 78 and 22%. But if I want to redistribute it to 80-20, that's what I would do. At the moment, I'm going to leave mine here. Again, with this leftmost button, if we want to do a contribution allocation, again, this is 15% of your pay or whatever it may be, and what you want to buy next month, and then months after that. Okay. Right. So again, mine is at 10% C, 90% S, for the reason that S is underperforming right now, which is a good thing. We want to buy it while it's low and then sell it when it's high. If you want to buy more of the other pots, you can. So if you want to do 10% here, if you want to do 25 here, and let's say 65 here. Click continue. Yeah. You'll see that your current mix is different from your future contributions, right? That's if you want to buy more 2050, more F and S funds than what you have now. And you hit submit. This leftmost one is what you're going to pretty much do for an interfunds transfer and a contribution allocation. This middle one is the same thing, except for it's more specific. So if you want to click start, I'll show you what I mean. So it's only going to draw from what you have in this in pot right now. I can't draw from G or I funds because I have nothing in there. And what it is you're moving a percentage or a money amount out of these funds to buy more of the other funds. So let's say I want to grab 4,000 out of each of them, right? So I'm taking 4 grand out of C and 4 grand out of S to buy the other funds. So instead of doing a whole account redistribute, you're just redistributing 8 grand out of those two to buy everything else. So I'm 2050. I'm going to do 50% there and 50% G. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. As long as it equals 100%, you hit continue. Right? So it'll give you that you took out 8 grand out of these two pots to buy more other funds. And you hit submit. But again, you're normally not going to ever use that middle button. Last thing I want to show you is the documents. Take a look at summary and your account balance history. So this is where you'll see all the years you've contributed and what each year has given you back. So using all that data, actually what I did was document history. I used my quarterly account statements and made my own TSP tracker all the way from 2011 when I first joined until 2022, right? So as you can see, we all started in the same way. Boot camp, got into TSP not knowing what's going on. So most of your money is probably going to be in G funds. And as you can see, I joined in June of 2011. That 6 months, I've only gained 33 cents back of my $600. But the following year, I redistributed all my money into 11% G, 30% F, 16C, 30S, whatever it is, right? And I gained $325 back. Still not a lot of money, but way better than $1.46. And that's the reason that you want to get out of G funds, is that while the whole year I've only gained 20 cents per share on G, I'm gaining $2, $3 off of CSI. And again, life cycle funds isn't that great, but it's better than the G funds. So from 2011 through 2014, we're all green. Gained back 300, 200, or 2 grand and 1 grand. Even though the I funds lost $1 per share and the F funds lost 27 cents a share, I'm still in the green. Now, 2015, everybody lost, right? We had a small market crash, and I've contributed 10 grand, but I lost 240 bucks because of the S and the I funds and the C funds losing per share. But as you can see, in 2016, I gained all that money back and more. Same thing in 2017. I've only put in 4 grand, but I bounced back 8,500. So my personal rate of return is 10%, 18%, and it keeps growing. Obviously, 2020 and 2021 are missing because the TSP upgraded their website, so I don't have that account information. 2018, really bad year, right? Put in some grand, but I lost 4,000 because everything else is losing money. 2019, 2020, and 2021 looks very similar, right? I've only put in 4 grand that year, 6 grand, 7 grand this year, but I'm making 15 grand, 17 and 18 grand off of it because I've redistributed my accounts into these. 2022, losing a lot of money, right? The good thing is you're not really losing until you sell it. So unless I move my accounts from these into a G funds, I'm not going to lose money. I'm actually buying shares so that when I bounce back up the following year, it's going to double, triple, quadruple my money. So even though I'm losing 24 grand here, I'll probably make 50 grand in 2023. So my lifetime, I've put in 71 grand of my own money into a TSP. I've gained 38,000, right? With a total of 110,000 in my account as of today. Again, it looks bad, but no, everybody's losing. And a negative 3% isn't that bad. It could be a negative 6, right? But don't worry about it. The next year, we're going to make a shit ton of money. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys this, right? So traditional and Roth. The difference is that traditional isn't taxed right now. It's going to get taxed when you draw your money at 59.5. So traditional contributions are deducted from gross pay before taxes. So you won't get taxed today, you're going to get taxed later. Roth are going to be deducted after taxes. So the current rate for most of us is 22 grand. I believe if you make like between 40 and 80 grand, you're going to get taxed 22%. So if I put in 10 grand today, Roth is going to subtract that with 22%, and I'll actually see some 1,800. So for example, if we have 10 grand at the end of our TSP, right? At 60, when I draw, I'm going to see some 1,800. But at 60, if my tax bracket is higher than 22% now, I'm gonna lose a lot more than if I pay taxes today. So it's really up to you if you want to take that chance to do a Roth contribution where they take your tax today versus traditional where they take it later. The funds. TSP has the G funds, F funds, C, S, and I. And then the life cycle is a cumulative of all these funds. So G funds, again, is special issue to the TSP. You're really not going to lose money in there, but at the same time, you're not going to gain money. Some people time the market where they move all their money into the G funds and hold it there while the market's crashing. But unless you time it right, you're going to lose way more by not buying into whatever is underperforming. So the F funds, G fund stands for government, F is fixed, C is common, I believe, S is small stocks, and then I is international. And these up here are the civilian equivalents to what they represent. So F is bonds, CSI are stocks. So in the 12-year summary, you'll see what is overperforming and underperforming of those years. So in the G, in the 12 years, the max it's ever performed is 3%. So it's only gained 3% in 2008 above what it started. So it's very rare that it will ever go below 0%. But again, you're not going to make money off of G funds. The F funds is a little bit better. It's around 5-7%. It'll go negative, but you're still being safe in the F funds. I don't really recommend these two, but it's up to you what you want to do. C funds is way more risky, but you're also going to lose a lot more, right? 2008 is when we crashed, and 2015 is when we crashed. We lost 36% per dollar on the shares, or per share, not per dollar, per share. But again, it's also going to make you a lot of money when this market goes back up. S funds, same thing. It's going to make you a lot of money, but when it crashes hard. And that's the best time to buy shares. Right now, you should be putting more into TSP because the market's down, and buying more of the C and the S ones because when it goes back up to 30%, you're going to make a lot more. I funds, kind of similar story, but a lot more negatives, and it's really up to you. CSI are the best performings, and the life cycle is the median between that, because what it does is, depending on the year group that you're going to draw your money from, it's either more conservative or more risky, whatever the words are. It's going to be less and more risky. So in 2050, when I retire, what it does is every year it's going to buy more C, more S, and more I versus the G and the F funds. But as we get closer to 2050, it's going to redistribute to these L incomes, right? It's going to redistribute and buy more G funds as I come closer to my retirement age to secure my money. So again, it rebalances to their target allocations each business day, adjusted quarterly to more conservative investments as the fund time horizon shortens. And objective is to provide the highest expected rate of return for the amount of risk expected. If you really don't want to put thought into TSP, it's up to you to put into your life cycles. But being young and it doesn't really take any time, as you can see, just do it yourself. Just put your money in the CS funds, and then possibly I. But again, for what I do, it's 80% C, 20% S, and then I'm buying more of the S funds because it's way underperforming. So it lost $20 per share when it started the year. So if you buy more S now, when it bounces back up, you're going to gain a lot more than the C funds. All right. That's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions.